Hi, Dyslexic Genius here, Brett Hurt. My phone number is 864-236-1680, or you can email me at dyslexicgenius@gmail.com. What we have here are two Berliner Type A phonographs, one from Canada and one from the United States. This is the American version of the Berliner. And you can see that we have a decal here. It says Berliner Gramophone Company. And on the Canadian one, we see the gramophone tag. They're a little different. In 1887, Berliner invented the gramophone. And his first records were rubber. And then in 1895, Berliner invented the shellac disc, which you know now as a 78. These did not run at 78 RPM. They were between 60 and about 75 RPM. What I want to show you is the difference in the two models. This American version is all smoothed out nicely here on the sides. And you can see the Canadian version has dovetailing, straight line dovetailing in it, and it has screws up here that look like it.
And the American doesn't.
The American doesn't. They're both the same motor and roughly the same reproducer. The Canadian one, reproducer, says Berliner Gramophone on it. And Johnson the machinist in America one, you'll see a J at the top. That's a Johnson reproducer for a Berliner. And one little point, this was not supposed to have a decal on the side here originally. But you see the little white nipper dog looking into his master voice, the big Victor emblem? Well, that's not a Victor phonograph. That's a Berliner Type A phonograph. And it's very interesting to note. Here we have the Canadian version of the Berliner, because he moved his operation in 1899. And
it's hard to read.
It's hard to read, but it says here, it says Berliner Gramophone on the back. The American one is like this, and these are called Berliner records, and there's nothing on the back of these like this. So in 1899, Berliner gave the manufacturing rights to Johnson, and Berliner moved to Canada building Berliner phonographs. And Johnson had the rights to the phonographs from Berliner, and he went up to the door of the factory, the machine shop, and he took the Berliner sign off, and in roughly 1900, he put another sign up called the Victor Talking Machine. And that's when Victor started in 1900. This is the Berliner type A. This one needs resto. This has peeling off the back here. This is the crank. This really is the spring barrel to a Berliner. And both of them are the same. And in the back here, this is your speed control on-off switch, which I think is just fabulously funny because I have to crank the phonograph up. So most machines, you set the brake, crank it up, turn the brake on, and it goes up to speed. These, you had to turn this in to lock the reproducer down inside the motor, crank it up, put your record on because it has a record hold down like this. This is all original. You put the record on, and then you put the record hold down on the American. The Berliner has the same. This little thing here, that's to keep the record from flying off. They were worried it was going to take off like a flying saucer. The brakes are different. This one's in for restoration. The leather's missing, and you would break it like this on this one. And this one has a brake here. But I can see people going, oh, I did have a brake. I guess I don't need to use the speed control. You know, people get confused on these things, even I do sometimes. But everything's basically the same on these. Cast iron turntables, record hold downs. They're a lot of fun to see the difference. This one has a reproduction exactly made leather elbow that hooks from the horn into the reproducer. And this one has another leather one, but it's not as good, well made as the other one on the American. These things really rot off. The front mount, that's what these are called, front mount phonograph. This bracket is different compared to the American bracket. Also, your tone arm or your support for the reproducer is this piece of wood here. And you can see that this is a vertical piece on these. Victor did those too on their machines. They put those in. But the American is horizontal, and it travels flat. And I think it gives it a little bit more stability, because on the front mounts with this vertical wood, they twist a lot, and these don't. It's a lot of fun to see different, to have these two together and understand a little about the Berliner company and the Victor Talking Machine Company. And I wish I had the French one here that had a copper horn on. Those are very pretty phonographs. I love this hobby, and that's my tip for the day.